division in the state of Florida. And the good news is that there's an economy in addressing climate change. There's green jobs that can be created. There's innovation, technology, ingenuity that the state of Florida can lead on. I'm tired of us being at the back. It's time for us to take our rightful place as a leading state. And we're going to lead on education and affordable housing and 21st century transportation and addressing global climate change. And we're also going to lead when it comes to being a state that believes in second chances. Come on. Right? We're going to be a state that believes in second chances. 1.7 million people in the state of Florida who have had their rights taken away, where you got to go and stand before the great governor in his cabinet to beg to have your rights restored. An arcane Jim Crow era type system. Well, the good news is that in November, y'all, we have the opportunity to vote if 60% of us agree to automatically re-enfranchise almost a million people. Almost a million people. But we can't stop there. We can't stop there. Being a state of forgiveness not only means restoring people's right to have their votes, the dignity that comes with that. It also means restoring to them the right to have dignity at work, right? It means doing things like I've done by banning the box where we don't ask about criminal background history, and let's answer yes is a disqualifier for the job. If it's not a disqualifier, we're going to measure you on your merit. Can you do the job? Will you make a good employee? Will you contribute to this organization? You can't tell people that we want them to pull themselves up by the bootstrap and then create every barrier imaginable that keeps them from being able to do just that. That's not the kind of state we're going to be. We're going to be a forward-leaning and a forward-moving state. And y'all, when we do this, because I believe we will. Anybody else believe we will? When we do this thing. Florida, the third largest state in all of America, is going to be leading the rest of the nation across the whole range of these issues that we discussed. But it takes a governor who has a North Star for where we want to go. Right. Rick Scott has held us back long enough. Right? He's held us back long enough. And y'all, now he want to be your senator. Right? Cut it. Not this time. Right? We're done. What's the song? Na, 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 na. Na, na, na. See you later, Rick Scott. We'll see you next time. But let me tell you this, y'all. I'm joking with him in some ways, but this is serious, right? We're the third largest state in all of America. We're an adult state, and it's time for us to act like it, right? We got to lead again, and I believe we can lead again. I feel passionately about this state. While I'm the mayor of Tallahassee, Florida, I'm from the bottom. I'm from an area called Richmond Heights, right? Born and raised down in South Dade. To my mother, who was a school bus driver, and my daddy, who was a construction worker. And when there was no more summer school in this state, my mother became a presser and a dry cleaner. When there was no construction work to be done, my daddy, you'd find him on a street corner selling fruits or vegetables, or on Saturday morning across from the cemetery selling flowers to bereaved families. My mother and father did everything that they could to make a way for me and my 6 siblings. I'm number 5 of 7 kids. All boys and 1 girl, my baby sister. I'm the first of my siblings to graduate from high school and the first to graduate from college, y'all. Listen. You cannot tell me or anybody in my household that we don't know what it means to see intergenerational poverty interrupted at the hands of a good public education. Right? You can't tell me that. But let me tell you, though, I am the only Democrat in this race who's not a millionaire. And I got to admit it ain't because I don't want to be one. I'm just not one. Right? Which means that we've got to depend on the support, the enthusiasm, the encouragement, the organizing, the $20 contributions, the $100 contributions that are going to power us forward. I believe that my experience in this state is more like the people who we need to vote than anybody else running. Right? And what we have lacked in a Democratic nominee is somebody who can move our voters to the poll. We've lost the race for governor. These last 2 terms, we lost by less than 1 point. Less than 70,000 voters have been the difference between who wins and who loses. Y'all, we've got more than those votes to spare. We know, between those of us in this room and that are with us online, we know the people who we got to turn out. But they're not going to turn out for nothing. They're not going to turn out if the Democrat is indiscernible from the Republican. They're not going to turn out. They're not going to turn out. They won't turn out if they don't believe that we are going to fight for them, y'all. Well, I want you to know I'm going to be that fighter, not because somebody told me to be, because I read it or I did a work day that told me what it meant to live in poverty. I know it because I lived it. Right? And I believe that you shouldn't have to come from a famous family or stroke your own check to become governor. I believe you can be from the bottom, from Richmond Heights, all the way up through this state to Tallahassee, and be able to represent the everyday people of this state. And we're going to help. With your help, with your prayers, with your work, with your resources. We're going to turn this state back over to working people, everyday people, commonsensical people. We're the majority. There are more of us than there are of them. And let me tell you who the them are. The them are those who want to see us go 50 years back rather than 50 years forward. There are those who would love to see us shackled in the past. There are those who would love to see our kids turning our public education system over to the private sector. There are those who want to see us ignore global warming and climate change. Right? There are those who don't want to give our folks second chances. I want you to be clear that this election is not about me. This election is not about me. I've supported every Democrat who's run. Right? And every one of them is doing all right today. Right? I want you to know what's at stake here. It's not my name that's on the ballot that's at stake. What's at stake are the people who we are standing in the gap on behalf of. The people who lose when we lose elections. We can't lose this race, y'all. We can't lose this race. I'm telling you this much. If we organize and fight and mobilize all over this state, talking to voters who don't believe we have their back, talking to voters who don't believe that we're in their interest and standing in the gap for them, if we give them a reason to come out, not to vote just against something, but to vote for something, right? We're going to win. We're going to win. Let me end here, because I've gone over time, right? I know I've gone over time. They tell me all the time I talk too damn much. I've gone over time. So our campaign, we've adopted the model to bring it home. And some of y'all have heard me talking about it. But I got to share it because it powers me forward every single day. Really, it does. I talked about the fact that my mother and father both had jobs that caused them to have to get up early in the morning. And so they would load me and my siblings into one car. I don't know if we had seatbelts and baby seats and all, right? But they put us in one car and they would drive us over to my grandmama's house and my granddaddy's house. And they would, my grandparents would let us sleep a little bit longer before they would get us up and get us ready for the day. And my grandmother had two rituals that she would perform before we would cross the threshold of the doorstep. One, she would take her bottle of olive oil. She called it blessing oil. And she would twist up that top of the olive oil and she'd dip that finger and take the residue oil and build a cross on my forehead. It was her way of sending us out into the day with a blessing that no harm would come our way. And then she'd do one more thing. She'd say, boy, go to school. Mind your teachers, get your lesson, and bring that education home. She said, bring it home for your little brother and your little sister who don't know what it is yet. Bring it home. Right. Bring it home for that little boy down the street that you play with. God knows where he gonna end up. And she was right. His name was Tyrone, and he was up to no good. My boy there. She said, bring it home for your mama and your daddy who get up every day to go slave on somebody else's job in order to keep a roof over your head and food on the table and clothes on your back. Bring it home. Now, I have to admit, I didn't always know what my grandmother was communicating in those words when I was growing up, but I would come to learn that what she was saying is that it wasn't just about me. It wasn't even just about my little brother and my little sister. It was about the boy she didn't even like. It was about my mama and my daddy. It was about the community. The belief that if I did good in life, we would all do good in life. That if I went far, we would all go far. And y'all, we've lost that sense of the collective. Right? We've lost that sense of what it means to be part of community. We've forgotten that if that kid does well who sits next to my kid, then we all do good by that. Two educated young people. right? We've forgotten that if poor people get a livable wage where they can go on and make a living for themselves, they spend money that powers the economy, we all do good by that. Rich people and poor people. We've got to find that sense, y'all, that we don't got to push our neighbors down in order for us to rise, right? I am a believer that a rising tide can lift all boats. And we've got to return this state to that sense of the collective. We've got to help this state understand what unites us, what brings us together, what makes us strong. Is not having a bunch of poor, weak, unhealthy people, but by having people who can afford to live, afford to survive, maybe afford to take a vacation once a year. That shouldn't be too much to ask, right? Educated kids, paid teachers, nurses, doctors, practitioners, right? All of that matters. Well, y'all, when we win this race, I'm not the only one going to Tallahassee. I'm bringing all y'all with me, right? We're all going to Tallahassee. I mean that. When I say we're all going, I don't just mean physically. We all going physically, yeah. But what we're going is we're taking our issues, our passions, our hopes, our ambitions, our highest aspirations for the state of Florida. We're all taking all of that to Tallahassee. So I want to ask you for this one thing, and it's the one thing my mama ever told me to ask for in life, and that's a chance. I want the chance to be the Democratic nominee on August 28th. I want the chance. I want the chance. I want the chance to show you and to show the rest of this state what it means to have a working man. Somebody who knows what it means to not just survive in this state, but what it means to thrive in this state. Yeah. Serving in the governor's office to provide the kind of leadership and wherewithal and public policy platform that will give all of us lift, right? My mother said the only thing in life you should ever ask for is a chance. So I want you to know that if you give me the chance to not only be your nominee, but to be the next governor of the great state of Florida, that I'm going to make you proud every single day of the week for giving me that chance. Because we're going to build a state that will be the envy of the other 49. We're going to lead, we're going to stop fighting. So I want y'all to join me on this mission, right? For y'all at home, I want you to give, I want you to organize, I want you to register, and I want you to turn out. And together we're going to take this state back, flip Florida blue in 20